Hey, hey, welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 827. It feels really weird. It's like echoing in this hotel room. I'm at the Marriott, and I don't know if you can quite see. Ooh, hey, here you go. You'd rather see the beautiful Sloan Park than my face. So this is the view from my hotel, looking out onto Rio. I think that's Rio Salado Parkway. It is. I can see the sign. So you got Rio Salado Parkway right there. This right here is actually Sloan Park right there. That's Sloan Park. It's and actually I don't know if you can quite see. Oh, those two guys right there. Those are actually Cubs minor league players. So a bunch of Cubs minor leaguers stay here in this hotel, which is, as you see, just across the street from Sloan Park. Brian, what's up? Beat the socks off those silly Canucks. Matty Ice, good morning. Jason, what's up? He's in North Dakota. Red Light 34 in the house. We've got Paul Heath. What's happening? I'm a little tired this morning. Raphael, what's happening? A little tired. Stayed up late last night. Later than what I normally stay up. What's up, Todd? Looks like a lot better view than my view of Snow, right? I've been getting alerts that there's a winter storm warning in effect for Madison. So thankfully, I'm here. It was kind of cold. So and I should be used to this type of weather because the issue is it's only 50 degrees right now in Arizona. I mean, the sun's out. It's 50. It's not 20. It's not snowing. So, but it's chilly. And I go out and typically, actually yesterday, this was about the time I was already on the backfields. Kind of a slow start this morning. There's some more Cubs walking on their way over to the complex. Excuse me. So I wore jeans and a long sleeve shirt. Now in the afternoon, it's kind of like in the Midwest in the spring and fall, where in the morning it's cold, but then by the afternoon that sun starts beating down and it gets hot. And I got sunburned. And I have sunscreen. Didn't put any on yesterday because it's like, yeah, it's 70 degrees. I don't need sunscreen. Well, it's not the temperature. It's the sun. There's a lot of sun yesterday, which was good. I needed some vitamin D. So my neck got burned, even with a long sleeve, like in a kind of a hood. But it still, my face is red from the sun. I've got some burning on my arms. It's really weird where the spot is, like where I was sitting in the sun. We were on the in the left field berm yesterday. Cubs took on Team Canada. A big win, as Brian mentioned in the chat. So what's up, Victor? Eric, good morning. So my travel was okay. I hate flying in the afternoon. I love morning flights. Like the earlier the better. Like when I'm barely keeping my eyes open, that's when I like to fly. So my flight was at like 5:45. So I'm at the airport at probably around 4. I got there pretty early. My wife dropped me off, and so hit the plane. We actually took off, I think, a few minutes early, actually. And I think we made it just on time. Initially, the pilot thought that we were gonna be like up to 20 minutes early, which is awesome. And I think we were actually early. Was it last year? I think it was the flight home. Last year, I had like a 2-hour delay coming out to Arizona because the toilet wouldn't flush. Fortunately, the toilets were flushing, and no issues on the flight. A little bumpy, but I don't mind bumpy. And isn't it funny on flights? So fortunately, by the way, I was able to, a few hours before the flight, I logged on, flew American to see what seats were available, if there were any like aisle seats open. Because when I had booked, or for some reason I had to, like, I thought I had my seats already set up when I booked, a month ago or whenever, but apparently not. So when I checked in on whatever Monday night, when I checked in, I had to like do my seat again. I'm like, shoot. And there were no aisle seats, and I want an aisle seat. But I didn't want a middle seat. There were some window seats. There was actually a window seat in the emergency row, exit row. So I took that, and I'm like, I get 6 inches of more leg room or whatever. So I'm like, I'm just going to check. It's like, man, I really want an aisle seat. So I checked. I was actually eating lunch, and my wife's like, well, just check. So I checked, and boom, actually the row right behind the exit row, an aisle seat was open. So I snagged that baby. And since I had already, I think I'd paid for priority boarding, which normally I don't, it's not something that I pay extra for, but it's like I've got this big bag and I want it with me. I don't want to check it. So I basically just paid. So I had first right at a storage bin above my seat. That's also crucial. Brian says, are you in witness protection? Looks like one of the shows with the person blurred out. I know. I had the camera focused on me and you couldn't see outside. So when it's focusing on the outside, it's I'll tell you what, the view that you see, that you can actually see, is a lot better than looking at my face and my hotel room. So I figure this view is better for you. So isn't it funny on a flight? So I got my aisle seat and we sat down, took off, and there's an older gentleman next to me, and not too old, maybe in his 60s, older than me. And then a guy a little younger than me. I'd say the guy in the window seat, maybe mid 30s, probably 5 years younger than I am. We don't say a word to each. Like none of us say a word, like the entire 3.5 hours. And then as we get to land, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody's chatty. Isn't that like, that seems like on every flight, and I fly like once a year. So I don't have much, I flew a lot when I worked at the university, but now it's like, don't have anywhere to go except spring training. But it seems like on every flight I've been on, nobody talks during the entire flight. And I don't want to, I want to put my headphones on, read a book, watch a movie. Remember, I don't like talking to my neighbors. Why do I want to talk to a stranger on an airplane? Although sometimes you meet cool people on an airplane. So all of a sudden at the end of the flight, all of a sudden we're just chatting it up. And I found that funny. It's like, isn't it ironic that here we are just chatting it up, but yet we sat in silence for 3.5 hours. I did have some issues because you know how I am. So, and I'm just kind of like, la, 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 la. I get to our bags. We did have a little delay on the run. I think the gate bridge or whatever, there was an issue with it. So we were delayed about maybe 15 minutes, which gave enough time for them to unload the bags, and they were in the carousel. I think I only had to wait in the bagging area for the bag area for 5 minutes. It was a great experience waiting for your, usually it's like you're standing around waiting for 45 minutes to get your bags. So that was good. What wasn't good was my decision making on getting to my rental car. So I used Turo, which is awesome. Now I will say the car I rented is a freaking pile. You get what you pay for. So I'm looking in my instructions was like, take the SkyTrain to the 24th Street rental area or whatever it's called, lot, 24th Street lot. So I look up and I'm like, oh, there's 24th. I misread. It's 24th and 44th, and I just wasn't thinking straight. So I hop on, go to the next one, and all of a sudden we get, because it was 2 stops away, we get to the next to last stop. It's like, next stop, 44th Street. I'm like, wait a second. I thought my message said 24th. Why did I? So there was one other guy who also did the same thing. So I wasn't alone. And but he had one stop. He was I was on the second to last on the other end. He was the very last. So we had an extra. It's like, oh my God, I just want to get checked in. So I get to the lot, the correct one. And I rented a Hyundai Sonata, and I was able to find it pretty easily. And I get to it, check in. It's like, this is last year I rented a Beamer and I didn't pay that much. Like I paid maybe 60 or 70 a day for the BMW. And I'm like, you know what? That's, say it's $20 for a week. That's like $140. So I'm staying right across the street. I'm not going to be driving. I drove to McDonald's yesterday morning. That's the only driving I did yesterday. I'm going to go to Circle K this morning for my breakfast. So I'm not driving, 5 miles one way just to come to the ballpark every day and then pay for parking on top of it. So it's like, I just get a pile. So I got a POS. I didn't know how big of a POS it was until I start driving. It's like, man, I can't see. I don't know if these headlights are working. Shoot, I don't think I turned the headlights on. So I'm driving, thinking I'm driving without headlights on the interstate. And so I get off of an exit and pull into a parking lot. It took me a while to find a parking. I'm out loud cussing at this point. This effing piece of shit car, no headlights, can't find the damn headlights. I can't find a parking space. I'm pissed. I just want to get to the hotel. So I pull into a parking lot. I get out. Guess what? The headlights are working. They're just super dim. So I found where you can like illuminate it, brighter. They were at the brightest and you could barely effing see. So you get what you pay for, but I still recommend the Turo app. I mean, you can find a nice car. Let's just jump on the Turo app right now and I'll show you what kind of options you have. And it is fairly cheap. I mean, it can be expensive if you want a Maserati. Let's just search cars. We're going to Phoenix, just for example, Phoenix. So right now, and of course, you can probably pay to have your cars highlighted. Like here's a Ford Bronco, a new one, brand new Ford Bronco, $99 a day. A Tesla Model 3, $84 a day. A Porsche Boxster convertible. I don't know if can you see that? Probably not. A Porsche Boxster, $99 a day. Tesla Model S. Ooh, that one's expensive. $175 a day. A Mercedes, a 1983 Mercedes-Benz convertible. That one's a little pricey, $158. But yeah, Tesla's for under $100. $75 a day for a Dodge Challenger. Ooh, this is a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, $138 a day. This BMW actually looks like the one I rented last year, but it's a lot more pricey this year. $165 a day. BMW convertible, M series, $210. But yeah, check it out. Turo, great app. This is the second time I've used it. The car that I rented sucks, but I also paid $40 a day for it because I'm literally right across. If you're just joining me, I'm at the Courtyard Marriott, Mesa, Arizona, and the view is that's Sloan Park right there. You can just see the corner of Sloan Park. That's the sidewalk out front, and that's Rio Salado Parkway, and then mountains, sky, clouds, trees. You get it. So earlier you saw there were a couple of players, a lot of players stay here, walking over to the Performance Center. Randy, what's happening? It is beautiful. It's chilly. It's a dry chilly though. It's only 50 degrees. So it's warmer than Illinois or Wisconsin. But it's still 50 degrees. But it will warm up. I think it's going to be in the mid 70s today. I'm going to wear my sunscreen. I learned that the hard way. I'm very stubborn when it comes to sunscreen. It's like, it's going to be 70 degrees. I don't need sunscreen. Well, the sun still beats down on you. So it's actually 54 degrees right now, working toward a high of 76, and it's going to be 80 tomorrow. So Herman says it beats cardboard boxes, right? And I said when I started, I had the camera facing me, but with the camera facing me, you couldn't see the view. And so this view is better than my face. Let's see. Small Town Collectible says I'm flaunting the view. Heck yeah. Eric, I was always wondering about Turo. Yeah, it's an awesome app. Terry, what's happening? Herman's here. So that was my trip in. Checked into the hotel. That was smooth, and it was really cool. Like parking literally right across the street. I could throw a baseball into Sloan Park from where I parked my car. And when I checked in, there were 4 Cubs minor league guys watching the World Baseball Classic in the lobby. It's like, oh my God, this is freaking, for a baseball Cubs nerd like me, this is heaven. So I didn't bug them. I just went in and hit the sack. Just kind of, I turned in, I think I kind of had a little trouble getting to sleep because I was just, kind of on excitement overload. And then yesterday morning, I should have went live. I'm late today. Yesterday morning, I was like, but I didn't have anything to talk about yesterday morning outside of my flight and checking in. But I was up super early. I was already down at the backfields at 8:30 yesterday morning. Here I am, still chatting. I've got to I'm going to make a gas station run just to get some water and some breakfast. And then hopefully be down on the backfields by 10. We've got another Cubs home game today. I don't even know who they play today. I don't know. We played Team Canada yesterday. Herman's buddy, Freddie Freeman, I didn't realize was on Team Canada. So that was cool. Cubs had a couple guys, Owen Casey and one other Cubs prospect were on Team Canada. Cubs won like 11-4, I think was the final score. So went to the game. We did some. I went down to the backfields of the morning, got a bunch of autographs. I think I ended up with almost 80 autographs yesterday, which is I want to get to 500 for the trip. So I need to average about 80 a day. So I was able to. I mean, some were super easy to pick off, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think I ended up with like 78 yesterday, I think is what my total autograph count, all cards. And I have some photos that I need to get. I didn't even see like some of and they were all prospects. Well, no, I did get some big league guys. On the pathway. I actually got quite a few of the big league. Christopher Morel signed 3 cards. I only brought 3 cards and he signed all 3 for me. So that was good. Kevin says, good morning. I've been waiting for your video today. Excited. I rented through Turo when I had to drive up to Wisconsin from North Carolina to pick up my kids. I had a Prius for $40 a day. Yeah, you can really reasonable, depending on what you want. If you want a freaking Mercedes convertible, you might pay $200. But if you want a Hyundai Sonata, a Prius, there were some Kias that were like $40. I think 40 is kind of the cheapest. At least that's what there were some like super mini cars that were like $38. And I'm like, I don't even know if my suitcase can fit in this thing. So I went with, there was a CRV that was like $5 extra, like $45. And I'm like, you know what? The Sonata's going to be fine. I'm not even going to be driving. Victor says the Cincinnati Reds today. Thank you, Victor. So today we'll play the Reds. I think I sat with a bunch of friends in the left field berm. And that's where I'll be today. Tomorrow I've got tickets for the rooftop, which is basically just a cheap imitation of the rooftops in Chicago. Let's see. Jenny says that's awesome. Red Light says 1 more couch to print and we'll be ready to ship out. Very nice. Jenny, what's happening? Bink says Pete Crow Armstrong. No, he actually turned me down twice. David Ross actually stopped and took a photo with me, but Pete Crow Armstrong turned me down twice for autos. So yeah. So he was tough last year. I only got him once last year, and I went like 1 for 12 on asking. So I don't expect to get a Pete Crow Armstrong autograph this year. Let's see. Harlan says, when are you ripping with Ethan? We actually did that last night. We hung out last night, and Rich was here too. What's happening? I'll see you in a couple hours probably. Let's see. Can't stick around this time of day. I'll catch the rest later. Thank you, Herman. Ed says, good morning. What's up? In and out of meetings. We'll catch the replay. It's a weird time. What time is it? It's 9. I'm a couple hours late. 9:45 Central. Just logging some Twins in TCDB, wishing I could watch baseball on TV, but stupid YouTube TV. I know, right? Travis says, Reds, you've got to get Ellie De La Cruz. Is he on the big league roster? I don't know if he's if he made big league camp. And it's really difficult to get visiting teams at Sloan Park because they bus into an area where peons cannot get to. So I would actually have to go to the Cincinnati complex, which I don't even leave. I don't even leave because I only collect Cubs autographs. So I have no interest in other teams unless they were a former Cub, but I wouldn't travel. Let's see. Jason says, I like this later start. Gets me through the workday. Good deal. Let's see. Red Light says, I'm printing out a business and a holder for your wife. I am sure she will like it. That's awesome. Have you happened to see the atmosphere for the Chinese Taipei game the other night? I did not. I didn't watch any world. I just kind of, as I was waiting to check in on Monday night, I was just kind of over my shoulder watching. There were some guys in the lobby watching the game. I'm not sure which game it was, but I've not watched any. So Ethan, we ripped cards last night. I didn't know. I'm like, hey, we got to get together some night this week. And I didn't, he's like, when are we ripping? I'm like, I've got any time. You're the one that's a Major League Baseball player. You're the one that's got a more important schedule. So he's like, let's do it tonight. I'm like, sweet. So Ethan came over, we went outside to there's a patio off the hotel. So we hung out there. Rich, my buddy Rich, hung out. Miguel Pabon, who's a catcher, minor league catcher, hung out. I had some cards of him that I'd made using Rich's photos. So I gave him some cards. He signed some. This is how it was. It was easy. I had 4 of Ethan's cards. I'm like, hey, can you sign these for me? And then, because I didn't even get him at Cubs convention. We were just hanging out at Cubs convention. I'm like, I'll get him some other time. And Miguel signed his. So those were super easy. I don't know if Brian's still in here, but Riley Martin stopped by. He's staying here at the hotel. So I'd messaged him. He had reached out when I saw him in South Bend. He's like, hey, can I get some of these cards? So I printed extras for him. So he came down. I gave him those cards, and he signed for me. Oh, and Ioannis Alexandrov, the first professional baseball player from Bulgaria, is in the Cubs organization. He's a catcher, young kid, like 18, I think. And he's huge, still pretty raw, but big dude. So I printed a bunch of cards of him. So he signed for me. Let's see. What else? Who else was down there? I think that was it. I think just those guys. And then there were some others that were walking through. Let's see. Kevin says those fans were electric. Flipping sports guy, what's up? We got Radio Bo today. Hear him because we can't see him. Never put yourself between the camera and the big light in the sky. But it's better to see this than this. You don't want to. You get to see. You've 826 other episodes where you've got my face and a bunch of boxes of baseball cards. Now you get a nice, pretty view of Sloan Park. Let's see. Demp. Oh, how could I forget Ryan Dempster? Oh my God. Yeah, Ryan Dempster stopped. I totally forgot. Yeah. How could I forget? Yeah, Dempster stopped by and he hung out with us for a few minutes. So yeah, Ryan Dempster stopped. Let's see. Jenny says Keating, that's his goal. He's in witness protection today. 100% agree. Much better view. There you go. We've all seen sand and mountains and sky and trees. Yeah, that was super cool. Ryan Dempster stopped. That was super cool. I'm like, that's Ryan Dempster. Is that Ryan Dempster? Can you explain how you're getting the autos? Are you meeting them around the stadium? So it's really easy to get autos like on the backfields. So at Sloan Park, this is the big league park right there. You can kind of maybe see a corner of it. So that's the park. And then on the like on the end of this block, Rio Salado Parkway, on the very end of the street is the minor league, the backfields. And there's what, 5? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, it's got to be 4. It's a quad. 4 fields back there. And so the minor leaguers work out down there. And most of the guys sign. Some are hesitant to sign. But most are really great. A lot of them just like walk, if they're walking from field back to the performance center in the middle between Sloan. So then there's the performance center between Sloan Park and the backfields. And that's obviously private for the players. And that's where like batting cages and, workout rooms and meeting rooms and all that stuff. So that's in between the two. So when they're walking back to the performance center, sometimes they just cut right through where the fans are, watching between the fields. So you can just go up and say, hey, Alexis Hernandez, can you sign for me? So I got a lot of, yesterday I got a lot of like minor league guys, some prospects. Who did I get? Actually, I can just jump up and grab my stack of cards. So I got, of course, Miguel Pabon, who was hanging out with us last night. Ioannis Alexandrov. And here, let me see. Probably can't. Yeah. So there you go. Ioannis Alexandrov. My buddy Ethan. So those were super easy. Juan Bello. Felix Stevens. Cam Sanders, who's actually the son of Scott Sanders, former big league pitcher. Michael Rucker. Peyton Remy. Jake Rendell. Daniel Palencia, he's starting to climb prospect rankings. I think he's going to be a stud. Christopher Morel, Michael McAveen, Zach McKinstry, Nick Madrigal actually stopped. I missed him like 3 or 4 times last year. So I was surprised that I was able to get him. Brendan Little, Ben Leeper. Some of these guys are on the big league camp. Caleb Knight, Bailey Horn, Alexis Hernandez on a first Bowman Chrome. Dylan Granadillo, I had quite a few of his. Jeremiah Estrada. Brennan Davis, he stopped by the Club 410. Estrada, Ben Brown, Bryce Ball, Adbert Alzolay, and Kevin Alcantara. So those were the autos. So yeah, forgot I got Alcantara. So those were the autos that I picked up. Let's see. So that's so I get them. Probably half of those I got on the backfields, and then the other half on the pathway, the walking path between the Performance Center and Sloan Park. So before games, a lot of the players will just walk down the walking path, and there's just a rope, and they'll come over and sign, take photos. Some of the bigger names, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Cody Bellinger, they'll like take golf carts around and avoid fans. Kind of like they avoid fans, like I avoid my neighbors when I walk the dog. So that's kind of what they do. Michael Rucker's Darius Rucker's son. Is that for real or is that a joke? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know because it could be, but it might not be. Let's see. Brian says, have you had a chance to read my long diatribe on camera tips? I don't think so. Let me see. So here's an issue that I have though. So the rubber fell, like peeled off. And so now I can't get the clip to like properly stay on. And so I'm having a lot of issues and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to really use it. Nope, I did not. Let's see. Yellow box to lock focus. Oh, that's a good tip. If you're doing handheld shots, press and hold the shutter button and drag your finger. So here's what I did. Here's what I ended up doing. So I had the tripod that I have has like what's the Bluetooth, and so I'm like, I wasn't using the tripod, and I'm like, I can still use that push button though to take photos. So I was just holding like that, and then so I didn't have to like touch the phone to like just a little stabilize it just a little more, and just click the little button, and so that ended up working. So I made sure to bring that in my pocket today. John says they avoid fans like I avoid modern baseball. So yeah, so we were hanging out last night. Ethan went out and bought before he stopped by, he went to the card shop and bought a box of Bowman's Best and a football. What was it? Was it Prism? I think it was Prism football. And then I had my Elite Extra Edition. And we didn't really hit much. I did hit a Jackson Holiday non-auto to $4.99 around in my Elite Extra Edition. Let's see. Michael Rucker, totally not his son. Okay. Didn't think so. Wrap a rubber band around it. What are we talking about? So I don't know if that would work. So basically it's the lens. It's the telescopic lens, and it's got a clip that clips over the phone thing, the camera, the phone thing, the camera. So the rubber like is a kind of a protection to not scratch the phone, I guess. But it also adds just a little bit of room, I guess, or less room. It makes it tighter, I guess. I don't know. And so now that rubber fell off, it's looser, the clip. So it's not stabilizing. I'm terrible at explaining things. So that's what it was. So that's what I had for today. I just wanted to come on for about a half an hour, kind of recap day one. Let's see, super glue to the rubber back. Oh, that's a good idea, but I don't think I have the rubber anymore. Shit. Because I think half of it actually fell off at home, like when the first day I bought it. I wonder if there's like another piece in there. I'll check the box. So today's schedule right now, I'm gonna run over to Circle K, get me a little breakfast, some waters, and then I'm heading over to the backfields where I will probably see Rich. And then from the backfields at about noon, I'll hit the Club 400 tailgate tent, and then into the game against the Cincinnati Reds this afternoon, and then call it a night. So there you go. So thanks for tuning in on a late. I probably won't go live tomorrow. Tell Bill and Ted I said hello. Let's see. Read all of the tips when you get time. Will do. Have fun. I will do that as well. So that's the plan for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I will not be live tomorrow morning. I'll aim for, let's see. What day is today? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. So Friday, no live. Maybe Saturday morning before I head to the card show. Saturday's card show day. Strange things afoot at the Circle K. So hitting up the card show in Chandler on Saturday with Rich, and Ethan's going to come along as well if he doesn't have anything on his schedule for Saturday. So that is the plan. So thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll talk at you on probably Saturday morning.